Hello, this is a message that I hope my community members will take an interest in. I ask that you will help me and hear what I'm going through and get involved. On November 2nd, 2017, my mentally challenged son was brought home as he did live part-time in Choice's group home at that time. He was brought home quite injured. He had a black eye, abrasion on the other side of the other eye, and came home telling me as well, he had a cut lip, came home telling me a story about being beat viciously by a Choice's staff member. Immediately after that, I started inquiring of Choice's group homes for details of how my son got hurt. They claimed he fell on his face, but his injuries didn't support that. He had no scratching on his nose. It didn't even appear to be a fall because he had no scrapes on his hands or scrapes on his knees. And he clearly said he was beat viciously. He said he was punched several times in the chest area by the man. He mounted the couch and showed me how the man swung down his fist very hard. Robert demonstrated it. He also said that the man had stepped on his chest at some point for a lengthy period of time, and Robert described it as he had his knees on his chest. So I have to go with what I saw and what he experienced, because 13 days after this beating occurred, Robert was internally bleeding and we took him to the hospital. As a result of that, this no longer became a small situation. This became a very serious situation. Internal bleeding could cause death. Anyway, without dragging the story too far out, I have been trying to get Choice's cooperation since November 2017. I've asked them to supply like an official incident report that describes their version of events. They say, like I say, that he fell. He clearly says he was beat, and all of his injuries support his claims. So I feel that when I've reached out to Choices and they've denied me the right to have an incident report, I feel there's something very wrong with the picture, particularly because since November 2017, we as a family decided I should become power of attorney for Robert. And I went to a, excuse me, I went to a lawyer and drafted a power of attorney that gave me all rights. So Choice's group home is aware of this fact. They're aware of the fact that this power of attorney means I can and should be able to act as my son would, in the event where he wanted his records. They continue to refuse to give me anything official. They won't put a signature on any papers, and they gave me a verbal description that doesn't match his injuries. So to make a long story short, my fear is this. These are the people dealing with our mentally challenged people in our community. And it appears to me that something is very wrong with this picture. Like I say, they won't supply me with an official incident report about the day he says he was beat. And his injuries and his claims are horrific. So I am under the impression that they may be breaking the law by not supplying me this these incident reports, considering I have the power of attorney. And that power of attorney was only recently done in 2017 and properly notarized, done by a lawyer. They're very aware of that fact. And to make a long story short, this story is even worse because they've showed other types of cruelty that I might go into in another video. I may do like a part 2 and a continuation of this story, because I'm really reaching out, trying to make people aware and involved in doing something about this. I feel we can't have people who potentially could have done an act that horrible, beat a mentally challenged man that severely, and just be free to not have to answer to it. I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's right. I think they have enough, the mentally challenged, to deal with without having to be mistreated by anyone in this world, particularly not those who are responsible for their care and well-being. So I'm reaching out and asking if there's anyone who knows legally that this is a violation of our rights and that they are indeed breaking a law. And if you're a lawyer or a person with legal knowledge and you want to step in and maybe help me, tell me what I could do, that could maybe make a difference in this situation and get some cooperation from, these people, and have people witness what's going on here, because other people in their care need to also be considered, and maybe protected if there's anything unusual that has happened here. So anyway, I guess what I would like to do is have some input, some comments, some community support to say that if I'm entitled to the information by law, that they should supply it to me. We should force their hand to come out, about the truth about what happened that day. So please, if you would like to make comments on, maybe just the page, or you'd like to have a deeper, more meaningful part in this, you can contact me at f1unfairness@gmail.com, or you can contact me even by telephone for the old-fashioned people like me. The telephone number is area code 289-776-9529. I will just say further that a lot of very unusual things are happening with relation to my son's claims. And I'm like I said, I'm kind of convinced that something doesn't fit, something's not right. Like I said, his injuries didn't match their claims, and he was very clear that he was beat, and he was very seriously hurt. So I'm hoping society never gets too immune to bad things that happen. We should stand up to them. Let's not get used to it. Let's not turn our eyes away from it. Help us. Step up and give my son a little justice, because if what he claims is true, it should never have happened, and I'm convinced his claims are very true because his injuries support it. Anyway, thank you. Please get involved. Help out. Like I say, let's be aware for all those who can't help themselves, all the mentally challenged, all those who might be vulnerable. Let's take action. Thank you.